Yes, welcome along to episode 8 of Upping The Ante in association with Bet365 with David Jennings and Gavin Lynch, counting down to the 2021 Cheltenham Festival. Gavin, how was your Christmas?
Sure, not too bad. Well, coming in here this morning, I thought it was Michael O'Leary because there was no traffic. It's like when he has the number plate on top of the car.
Oh, he's a taxi, yeah.
I flew in, yeah.
You flew in. That was very good, Gavin. Michael O'Leary, yeah.
How was Christmas? How was Santi and Georgia?
Santa. I'll tell you something, right? Everybody tells you about when you have young kids. Now she's very young. She's 8 months.
Yeah.
The excitement, though. But, like, I think the excitement is almost in the parents.
It is, yeah.
Because we were knocking at the door. Did he come, Georgia? Did he come? Yeah. Yeah, and then you open the door and then all the presents are on the ground. And I'd say she hadn't a breeze what was going on. But I'll tell you something, we made it memorable.
This time next year, she'll love it.
Yeah, Carrot was out for Rudolph and yeah, it was a magical experience.
Excellent.
It'd nearly make you want to have another go.
It nearly would, yeah.
Yeah, how did you get on?
Yeah, grand. Ups and downs of Christmas, as usual.
Go
Christmas
on, tell me.
Christmas Day was great. We decided to have food outside, a couple of Relos over. And, Relos? And it was freezing now, it was proper cold.
It was proper cold Christmas Day.
So we're sitting outside all day.
Stupid idea.
Yeah, so we had 2 outdoor fires. We have one, and I borrowed one off Ed. Ed got this gorgeous clay fire off his wife, Martina. And he showed it to me on Christmas Eve, and it was amazing, and the size of it, and it had a chimney.
I feel this is going to go spectacularly wrong.
So anyway, that's grand. And he says, make sure you mind it and wrap it up. It was very expensive. There was a cover with it, so did all that. Christmas night, put the cover on. So that's perfect. Woke up the next morning, everything's grand, the cover's on, it's outside the back door. It's great, lovely. And then Stephen's Day, disastrous day punting, like probably the worst day of the year.
What happened to the thing, the fire?
Well, I tell you. So the next thing anyway, back Felix Deji had a big bet in Asterion Forlange. Asterion Forlange falls, and Anne-Marie walks into the sit room. She goes, I hope you're winning money at the horses, because Ed's chimney's after falling over and smashing. So I had to go yesterday and buy him a new one.
Yeah, and they're not cheap.
Within a minute of Asterion Forlange falling. It was 200 odd quid, yeah.
2 falls in a minute.
And but I was talking to a friend of mine on Stephen's night, the 26th, Boxing Day. And he says, how'd you get on? I said, don't mention it, disaster, like really bad. I said, any punter who won money on today, I said, I'd worry about them. And he went, oops. I said, what, you won money?
He would have been.
I said, do you know what you need to do? I said, you need to get Viagra and an eye drop, because you need to take a good long hard look at yourself. Because anybody who won money on Stephen's Day.
It was a bloodbath, wasn't it?
Bloodbath, yeah. And that's 3 or 4 Christmases in a row now. But thankfully the last 2 days got a good bit of it back.
And would you be tempted now, given you look back through your notes and you only bet on the things that you know that you're good at, would you be tempted and look back and say, Stephen's Day 2020 disaster, Stephen's Day 2019 disaster, Stephen's Day 2018 disaster? Would you be tempted to go next Stephen's Day nothing?
Well, that's what a logical fella do.
Yeah, but you're logical.
Yeah, but sure, you get into it and Asterion Forlange will win the King George next year, and sure.
So it was, but you've gradually got it back.
Yeah, I got most of it back the last 2 days, thankfully. Okay. We've 1 day to go this afternoon, so.
Okay, yeah, we're filming this before the racing takes place on Tuesday, so we will see. Santois, obviously, Gavin is keen to see how he gets on, and Brave Man's Game runs in the shallow. So we'll get on with the show, Gavin.
Yep.
Let's get on with the show. Yes, we'll kick off, as always, with our questions from the crowd. And the first one this week comes in from Peter Jordan. And Peter wants to know, which horse disappointed us most of all over Christmas? Gavin, the one we will never back again.
I'll give you a couple maybe. But
do you want me to go first? I have
one. You go first, go on.
I have one, Surname. Forget about him, gone. Never again am I going to fall for Surname, okay?
Or Sam Crow.
And, well, Sam Crow is good. Yeah, Sam Crow's gone. Sam Crow's gone. Just Sam Crow is gone. But Surname, right? Yeah. I spent, I'd say, the week before Christmas defending Surname to everybody, making excuses, giving him the benefit of the doubt. And then, Gavin, I just watched a race, and after a fence, I turned around and said to the fella next to me in Leprechaun, I said, this horse is beaten. I said, it's beaten. I said, this horse needs to be dictating the race at his own tempo. He needs to be sitting first or second. He needs to be enjoying himself. I think he's soft for starters, okay? I think he's claustrophobic. I think he hates being around horses. And I think when the gun is really put to his head, you have to remember when he beat Altior, he was always leading.
Is it fair to compare him to Paul Pogba, is it?
Yes, I think that's probably been unkind to Paul Pop with him. Yeah, Surname just, it's just so annoying because the ability is there. And it was just one of them races where you're watching it, and at no stage was I happy, even when he made a little bit of ground on the outside. He made a terrible mistake 5 out, but at the top level, you can't afford to be doing things wrong, and he just did, Gavin.
You have to jump perfectly around Kempton, and he made a few mistakes.
I thought he was a brilliant jumper. So, no, under no circumstances, even if he was in a 2-runner race with Sam Crow, would I back Surname? I just watch it.
Okay.
Yeah, Surname gone.
My two, just to pick two, would be Felix Des Dieux and Presenting Percy. Now, I didn't back Presenting Percy, but I was still disappointed he was beaten so far. Felix Des Dieux, I thought that after all these years, he had calmed down. His last two wins were good. He had relaxed. He wasn't the lunatic that he used to be. Now, why Jack Kennedy wanted to go at 1 mile pace, I don't know. But he was driving him on, and it was a strange race to watch. But Felix Des Dieux, I don't know, I think he needs a psychiatrist or a psychologist or something. Yeah,
a few of them do. But watching the race, Gavin, with Felix Des Dieux, did you think, like, in an instant he went from 5 clear to 2 behind?
Yeah.
Without really doing anything,
at the 5th or 6th
visually you didn't say, oh, he made a terrible mistake or he stumbled.
I think he just stopped coming into it.
Yeah, and it was like as if he lost interest or something.
Yeah, and then he came back in the bridle.
Then he came back in the bridle and then he made a few errors and, yeah, I don't know.
The only thing I'd say is that Gordon Elliott's haven't been in good form over Christmas. He's had 4 winners, I think, out of 44, so...
I think he needs softer ground as well.
Yeah, he probably does, yeah. Maybe hold him up, but it's hard to see him win the Arkle anyway.
And Presenting Percy, yeah, very, very disappointing.
Yeah, so... Yeah,
Altior, no?
Altior... Yeah,
we'll come to Altior later on in the show, but you're giving him the benefit of doubt?
Maybe.
Okay.
Small bit.
Hope that answers your question, Peter. Our next question this week comes in from John Kelly. And John wants to know, can Tart win the Gold Cup? He's basically beaten the best of Ireland in the Savage Chase. Why can't he win the Gold Cup, Gavin?
I suppose he can.
Have you backed him for the Gold Cup?
I haven't. No, I probably won't. Can't really see it. Very, very good 2-miler. As we know, last year won at Christmas, Leprechaun beat Shackelbourgeois when he probably wasn't fit. And then he was 3rd in the Ryanair. So the big question was, would he stay the 3 miles in Leprechaun? And the funny thing about Tart is no matter what trip it is, he kind of gets outpaced for a little while.
And finishes.
And finishes very, very strong, yeah. His jumping was better. His jumping was kind of high and slow in Navan and in Cheltenham previously, but his jumping was quite good. I'd say William Mullins wasn't too happy with the 2 boys in front. I would be a huge admirer of Patrick Mullins. I think tactically he's been brilliant over the years, but I just think... Now, he was poor in Mellon, right? And that's been
brilliant to watch, though.
It was.
Like that's down the back in Leprechaun. I said it many a time in the marsh, down the back in the marsh. He was phenomenal. And I thought, again, the way he attacks.
Oh, his jumping is... He nearly wants to start him last because he's going to catch up so much. But to help him stay the trip, I just thought Patrick should have waited a lot longer. But I suppose he had no choice because he was jumping to the front.
Well, right, I'll take your point, okay, and I'll say, right, Surname was a not a definite stayer, okay, and Harry Cobden decided to completely change usual tactics on Surname and hold him up, okay. Patrick Mullins on Mellon said, right, Mellon enjoys himself when he's up there, so he said if he's going to stay, he's going to stay, and he let him get on with it, and he enjoyed himself. So that's the counter argument to that.
I'll ask you one question: did he win?
No, he didn't win, Gavin. He was 3rd.
Yeah,
I know, but it was a very good run.
It was a very good run, but just tactically it was wrong.
Do you think he was the best horse in the race?
I'd say if it was ran again and he was able to settle him a lot better, yeah, I think he would have won.
Could he win a Gold Cup?
I don't know if he'll go there because he's owned by Joe Donnelly, who owns Album Photos. That's the question. Will he go for the Ryanair, which he'd have a great chance in, or will he go for the Gold Cup? I think he would have a chance in the Gold Cup. I think he probably would stay. He loves Cheltenham. Yeah.
He'd be a great...
Tart has a good chance anyway.
Yeah, I think he's got a good chance. I think anybody backing Tart for the Gold Cup now, you can see their logic. He's a similar type of horse, this size and John. Stepping up in trip was a 2-miler. Yeah. And he's the only horse to have beaten Shackelbourgeois in Ireland.
Yeah, he just would want to jump better than he did in the Ryanair last year.
Yeah, absolutely. So there you go. That's Tart's chances in the Cheltenham Gold Cup. So our final question this week comes in from Daniel O'Connell. And Daniel wants to know, Gavin, the Supreme, the Ballymore and the Albert Bartlett winners from last season are hot favourites to win the Arkle, the Marsh and the RSA. And as we know, and Daniel points out, festival betting is never that simple, or else we'd all be millionaires. We wouldn't need to do the show and we wouldn't need any extra cash, Gavin. Which one of them gets beaten? Because they won't all win. They won't all win. So which one gets beaten?
Well, there's not too many people are going to tell you the Shishkin's going to get beat.
No, can't get beaten, no.
There's not too many going to tell you that Envoy Allen's going to get
beaten.
Not
a hope, can't get beaten.
And then,
so that leaves Monkfish. Now, I must say, we're filming this show before Monkfish runs in the Neville's Hotel Novice Chase at Leprechaun. So by the time you're watching this, he could have won easily or could have been beaten. But we're going to say that he'll probably win today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say he will. I kind of missed the boat on the prices, so just rather than back them individually, I did a treble on the 3 of them.
Did you?
I did there a month ago, but no great prices. But I didn't want the 3 of them to win and not have some interest in the race. But very hard to see the 3 of them getting beat. Monkfish is definitely the weakest of the 3 because the other 2 are just... I would actually love to see, I was going to say it in the week that was, but Shishkin and Envoy Allen, is that we need Eddie Hearn or Barry Hearn to come in and do a pay-per-view in Punchestown of Envoy Allen and Shishkin.
Yeah.
Don't mind Tyson Fury and what's your man, Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
I would just love to. How much would you pay to watch Shishkin and MBLN?
Yeah, I'd love it.
Over, say, 2-2.
Yeah, I'd love it.
Yeah, it'd be amazing.
I'd love it.
Two
and
of the
I'll
best
tell you
matches
something,
seen
it
on
wouldn't be easy to price up.
I'd say there'd be joints.
Yeah, it wouldn't be easy to price up now,
But
yeah.
it was like, it'd be like Dawn Run and Bookhouse 20 or 30 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Conor O'Neill, if you're watching, Punchestown manager.
Yes.
Get on the phone to Barry. All right, Baz. Envoy Alan, V Shishkin, Punchestown, 2020, 2021.
Somebody put up £1 million to go to charity or something to the winner.
Yeah.
Pick 2 charities.
It'd be a great idea again.
Yep.
So we're saying at the moment Monkfish is the most vulnerable.
Definitely, but still a great chance.
Yeah, so we'll see how Monkfish gets on today. That's your question, Daniel. It's the week that was time, or in this case, the 3 days that were.
Yes.
Yeah.
Riding. We're going to be talking about riding, Dave, because some of the rides given by jockeys over the Christmas were outstanding and they need to be mentioned.
Jeez, you gave me a fright there.
So we're going to start Boxing Day.
Up to over Christmas. I know you can't leave the house and all that and we're restricted, but you have 2 kids already. Okay, rides.
So Saturday, Boxing Day, because we're starting in Kempton.
St. Stephen's Day.
Yes. Shan Blue, we're starting in Kempton. Shan Blue against the Big Breakaway. Obviously your horse, the Big Breakaway, ran very well, your lad, except he ploughed the 5th glass out of it and the 3 in the straight. Jumping is the name of the game, particularly in Kempton. Shan Blue was very, very good. His jumping was amazing. Your lad has a better engine. Shan Blue is just a better
jumper, yeah. But I tipped a Big Breakaway for the race formerly known as the RSA, no sponsor yet. But I have to say, he reminds me a little bit of Top of the Game. Top of the Game did something similar when he was beaten in the race by Le Bagawa. And I just think the Big Breakaway, he's learning. He's a novice. He's getting there. He's like...
Yeah, but I mean, his jumping want to improve, Davey.
Oh, it's shocking, yeah.
Like he's 16th for the RSA, which is about the right price. Just to tell you, the Shan Blue race and the Big Breakaway race, it was 2.5 seconds quicker than the King George, which is interesting. Wow. And Shan Blue was 12th for the RSA, 16th for the Marsh, but Dan Skelton reckons he'll probably go for the Marsh, which is interesting.
Yeah, against Envoy Alan.
Yeah, rather than the 3 miler.
He'll get him at it.
Then we're on to...
I thought we were talking about riding.
We are, yeah. I'm just saying that was a very good ride.
Okay. Oh, very good. Okay.
Yeah. Next, brilliant ride by Adam Wedge. Silver Streak against Epatante. Imagine Silver Streak, this was its 25th hurdle race and it had never led before. This is the first time and straight from the get-go, bang, out in front.
It was a kind of a mini version of Rooster Booster and Hartwell, wasn't it?
It was. And
Grey
Silver
horse
Streak,
as well.
Yeah, Silver Streak jumped fantastically. Epatante made a bad mistake, 3 out. But I just have to say the tactics on the winner were excellent.
Yeah. And listen to Adam Wedge afterwards, like they spoke so much about it. I can just imagine Christmas Eve, him talking to Evan Williams and going, well, what do you think? And then Evan kind of going,
I'm not sure
no, do you know what happens if he bombs out and doesn't enjoy it? Like it takes in a grade 1 and they probably know they're not going to win a champion hurdle. So this was his champion hurdle.
Yeah. He's 10-1 for the champion hurdle, but then again, like the tactics maybe made a big difference. Epatante, Nikki is... He's saying maybe his horses aren't fully right and maybe she was in season, etc., etc. She's 9-4 for the champion hurdle. He's 10-1. And to say that the race was 4 seconds quicker than third time Lucky's novice hurdle. So it was a good time. Frodon is 16-1 for the Gold Cup. Santini, he's my whatever horse. I just don't like him. St. Calvados is 12-1 for the Ryanair. Waiting Patiently is 14-1 for the Ryanair. The King George, again, a brilliant ride by the winning jockey, Bryony Frost. So
imagine if we stood here last week and you said to me, what do you fancy in the 2 big staying chases over Christmas, David? And I said, do you know what, Gavin? I fancy Frodon and Absolute Tart. You just go, you just leave, you be out that door like a shot and you just say, this fella's cracked, I'm not even going to
but Stephen's Day, the results were mental. Should we start with a couple of 100-to-1 shots, as you said?
100-to-1 first winner at Wetherby and 125-to-1 first winner in Limerick.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So Frodon, can Frodon win a Gold Cup?
He's going to be up there. He's actually better going left-handed because even in Kempton he jumped a little bit to his left. Yeah. So he's going to set up the race perfectly. Last year it was a bit of a mess for Gold Cup. They went very slow and nobody wanted to lead and they were messing about. Even Alboon Photo took it up at the top of the hill. So this year I'd say Frodon and bounce out.
And you know what though? Paul Townend was very shrewd on Min in the Ryanair last year because what Bryony wants to do all the time in Frodon is go like the clappers over the first 4 and then slow it down. Yeah. But Townend was wise to it on Min and he said, I know what she's going to do. And the minute she slowed it down, he went on. So I think that's going to happen in the Gold Cup. I don't think she's going to get the breeders into Frodon in the Gold Cup like she did in the King George.
Yeah, and she got a solo, but she gave it a perfect ride. On to Leprechaun. Zana here is now 11-4 for the Triumph, having won by almost 4 lengths.
How is this horse not evens? This horse is a monster. Slowly run race, bolts up. Yeah. Fast run race, fast time, Fairy House, bolts up. Like, what's going on?
Because it's the Triumph Hurdle and because they're 3-year-olds.
Sure, he'd win the Supreme, would he not?
Just say to you about the slow time, it was 11 seconds and 12 seconds slower than the 2 maiden hurdles
but
that were
that didn't suit him.
No, I know that, yeah.
Yeah. I just think this horse is... He blows my mind, Gavin.
Yeah, no, he's very good. Very, very good.
And you picked him.
Franco Ante-Post won the Grade 1. He's now 20-1 for the Arkle. Felix Des Dieux, we spoke with the race already, that it was just a mess of a race. Even Darver Star ended up
the way it panned out, I think Plackbo would have won it.
Yeah, probably. It wouldn't take a lot of winning, really.
No, that's what I mean, yeah.
Franco Ante-Post was out the back. Brian Cooper again gave it a great ride.
Great ride. 36 Grade 1 races Brian Cooper's won.
Really? That's interesting. But Franco Ante-Post, 21 for the Arkle. I'd say maybe that's his day.
Yeah.
I can't see him winning the Cheltenham.
Wouldn't be interested in that, no.
Limerick on Saturday, your horse, Colreevy.
Yeah.
She's very, very good. She outbattled Pencil Full of Lead by a half a length. She absolutely adores that heavy ground.
She does, yeah.
So for your race on the Friday, I'd be hoping that the ground was soft for you at Cheltenham.
This is no good to you now because I know you really fancy the Styria Falange, but I did a preview show with Patrick Mullins before racing on the 26th, and he just said a Styrian Falange was absolutely bombing at home.
Really?
Like bombing, like he could not speak highly enough of Styria Falange.
It was a very simple fall.
Yeah, and he jumped well up to then.
He did. But yeah, when next...
Hit the wing, kind of.
Yeah, he went up against the edge of it. Next October, if they go 20-1 or 14-1 for the King George, I'll back him.
Okay.
On to Kempton on Sunday. Shishkin, that we mentioned already, beat Tamarack de Matan by 13 lengths, 2.5 seconds quicker than Nube Negre race. Like, he's just an amazing racehorse, isn't he? His jumping is so good.
And you know what? I think he's going to be even better when he steps up and trip. If he ever... He could be one of these horses a bit like Altior, where we'll be pleading for him to step up and trip at some stage in his career, and he mightn't. But you could see Shishkin win the Gold Cup someday. I could.
Really?
His best work is always the final stages of his race. Look at the Supreme.
Yeah, because even just before halfway, I thought Nico gave him a couple of niggles, but he's an exceptional racehorse. Who would you back between him and Violin over 2.5 or 2-2? Tough, isn't it?
No, they're both... They're different, like. I think Shishkin is flashier and sexier than Envoy Allen, whereas Envoy Allen just does it. Just does it.
But they're as good a horse as we've seen in the last 5 or 10 years, aren't they?
Yeah, they're excellent, yeah.
Nube Negre beat Altior. Altior was given at £6. Again, Harry Skelton, super ride, sat out the back, travelled. It's a very hard thing to do is to come from behind in Kempton, but he was travelling all over them at all stages. Altior was never going, jumped 1 or 2 very high. Nicky says since that he's thinking of closing the yard for a week after today, that the horse wasn't right.
But so, Gavin, you tipped up Altior for the winner, right? Now, fair enough, right? Nobody respects you more than me, okay? But as you were tipping up, I was scratching my head and I was going, it was very unlike you.
It is. I usually don't go for older horses.
Yeah.
I never ever do, but I just thought he was amazing.
And that's why.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm watching Altior, and maybe I'm seeing something different than Nicky Henderson, Nico de Boinville, everybody in the Henderson yard, everybody knows the horse. Yeah. But every time I watch Altior, I'm going, this horse is slow. He's slow. You watch him and everything is laboured. Everything is an effort. In the last 2 years, and even when he won his last Queen Mother, everything has been an effort. It's not effortless. It used to be effortless. It's not effortless anymore. I think he'd have a cracking chance in the Ryanair.
Ryanair, yeah. He's 16-1 for the Ryanair, 12-1 for the Champion Chase. Look, if he's going to figure it all on Cheltenham, he'll want to come and win the games for it.
Flat out coming down that hill at Cheltenham.
Yeah.
And even when he did his piece of work with Epatante was swinging and he was... Like, he was being ridden. I don't know. I just think he's got slow.
Yeah, I suppose it happens us all when we get a bit older.
Oh, God, it does.
Leprechaun on Sunday, the first winner, it was 4 seconds slower than appreciated, but French Asile, I think it was 22 lengths in the end. That was mental impressive. Yeah. Really, really impressive. They went like 16s afterwards and then it was 10s for the Triumph, but very, very good horse. Its previous run on the flat in France, what trip was it?
I'll go for 1.2 miles.
6.5 furlongs.
Oh, the Lord.
And the longest it's ever ran over before that was 1 mile.
Well, somebody knew something.
Yeah, it was well punted.
It was well back. Had you heard anything? Little whispers around?
I didn't.
You usually hear whispers.
It went off 7-2 favourite, but it won by a furlong. Chacun Pour Soi was very, very impressive. 9.5 seconds quicker than January Jets in the beginner's chase. He's now 11-8 for the Champion Chase.
Are you converted back to being a fan?
Yeah, I wasn't impressed in Cork, but he was at least a stone better this time. His jumping early on wasn't brilliant, but then 4 out, 3 out, the old 2 out, we'll call it, which was the last. Brilliant jumps, and then the bypass, the last one. Very, very good, entitled to be favourite, yeah. You just hope that nothing happens to him like last year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Get him there in one piece, please, Willie.
Put the kettle on, finished third. I just wonder, Does that mean now they might consider the Mayor's Chase? What do you think?
Yeah, maybe.
She's 7-1 for the Mayor's Chase, just tell you, and 14 for the Champion Chase.
Can I put a theory to you? Mm-hmm. The Arkle last year was horrendous.
Okay.
That's my theory. I think it was terrible.
Yeah.
Well, you look through them. I know Rouge Vif was very impressive in a handicap, but like you look through the horses that ran in the race, the winner was put to Kettle on. Yes, he won the slower chase, but he was put in his place by Shack and Persuat. She's a very good horse. But is she your brilliant Arkle winner? I'm not sure.
No.
And then you go Fakir de Dares.
She did beat De Geneva the last day in the slower
chase.
I don't
know, like the Global Citizens, I don't know, Gavin. I'm just not convinced by last year's Arkle.
No, it's a fair point. Appreciate it bolted up in the Grade 1 2 mile novice. He had been favoured for the Ballymore, and now he's 3-1 favourite for the Supreme. Willie was interviewed afterwards on RT television, and he said...
Interesting interview.
Yeah, it was. Brian asked him, are you going for the Supreme? And he said, why are you asking me that? But yeah, I'd say he'll end up in the Supreme.
But it was definite like that. Yeah. He's staying over 2 miles. And
the time was a second quicker than the Handicap Hurdle, a good time. Irascible stayed on very well. Ballyadam was a huge disappointment. As I said to you earlier, Gordon Elliott has run at like 9% for Christmas, which is half as normal. So that wasn't the real Ballyadam, it couldn't have been. But appreciate it, totally entitled to be the favourite of the Supreme. As you went by the line, I went and back to Master McShee in the Handicap Hurdle. So watch out for him because their form had been linked in Cork. Yeah.
Back to winner, so.
Well, yeah, it was good to back a winner. Master McShee, he won off 132. Just keep an eye on him. He might end up in a handicap at Cheltenham. We'd no Chepstow and we'd no Limerick on Sunday, which is a pity. On to Monday, so the third day of the three. Gellard Dumanil, 13 seconds quicker than the 2.5 mile handicap hurdle. This horse was very, very impressive.
Very impressive, and loved his jumping.
Yeah, jumped brilliant, travelled really strong, turned in. The ground was soft, and he quickly.
I liked him in Punchestown as well. Holy Macapony let the form in, but that wasn't Holy Mac. Holy Macapony was pulled up in Navan. That wasn't his run. I'd say that Holy Macapony is a good horse.
Yeah. You just wonder what happened in Navan, all right. Yeah. Willie's had 12 winners out of 38, which is 31%, and that's his normal. So, Dandy Mag got up to win the Pertemps.
A brilliant ride. If you're watching Paul Townend, that was, for me, that was the best ride of Christmas.
Okay. So, the Boss's Oscar finished second. Ideal for the Boss's Oscar's connection that it didn't win. Yeah. So, both of them are going for the Pertemps final in Cheltenham. The stats are that the winner of a qualifier can't win the final.
No. So hopefully... this time next year, we won't be previewing the Pertemps final because they'll have got rid of it once and for all. Has to go. Can't be rewarding horses for not winning races.
So the Boss's Oscar would have been thrilled to be second instead of winning.
Yeah. And what snuck into sixth? Morosini.
Yeah.
A brilliant ride to sneak into sixth.
Yeah. Just to tell you, the Dandy Mag race was 2 seconds quicker than the Flooring Porter race, so that's something to keep an eye on. So it was a very fast time. Flooring Porter... Well, yeah, it wins by 6 lengths. Like, I've backed this horse in the handicaps off 120 odd, I think, from memory.
He ran at Patrick in September of last year, was rated 104 and finished 4th of 8 in a novice hurdle. Yeah. In 15 months, he's gone from a mark of 104 to he's going to be in the 160s now.
Yeah, it is incredible.
Unbelievable.
Now, the last day in Navan, it absolutely sluiced up in a handicap, and then it did so again. It won by 6 lengths. Second was the Storyteller. Third was our horse, Sire de Burleigh, who's now 10-1 for the Stayers.
Well, I'm happy.
Yeah, I wouldn't give up on him.
I'm happy. I said on a previous show, I said, I'm actually not sure if Sire de Burleigh will win today, but he'd win in Cheltenham. And that's exactly what happened. He was on and off the bridle. Yeah. Just loves Cheltenham.
Yeah, I wouldn't give up on him at all. Flooring Porter is 12-1 for the Stayers. Then we're on to the Savills Chase. A Tart, Kenboy and Mellon. Brilliant finish, as we all know. I think there was 8 grand matched in Kenboy at 101 in running. Pity that we had a couple of fallers early on. With Manila Indo and Delta Work. But a brilliant finish, as we said earlier. Mellon was outstanding jumping, but got there way too soon. A Tart has to have a chance at the Gold Cup. The price are A Tart 12-1 for the Gold Cup, Kenboy 16s, Mellon 25-1 for the Gold Cup, and is 12-1 for the Rhino.
Right, I'm giving you a tenner now, Gavin. Who's wins the Gold Cup?
Very hard to see past Alboon Photo.
Okay.
And you know he's at home doing the shopping, watching Netflix, and
he's watched Santa Claus the movie 3 times.
He's going down to Tramore in a couple of days and then goes to Cheltenham. Like it is a very good preparation for Cheltenham, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
It does make a lot of sense. And just to mention, the Big Getaway is worth a mention. He won his beginner's chase. He's 12-1 for the Marsh. He's 16-1 for the RSA. He's 16-1 for the National Hunt Chase. And he's 12-1 third favourite for the boat race. So he's in everything. But a nice horse.
I just got that. Yeah. I was thinking, what race is he on about?
The boat.
Yeah, he's in Everton.
Fine big horse, great jumper. Just, can't see him beating Envoyelen now.
Second horse, a nice horse, Cedarwood Road, will win a nice race.
And then the last race to mention, Limerick on Monday, Farouk Delaine is now 21 for the Albert Bartlett. It won the Grade 2 from Vanillier, but it's not as good going left-handed. So don't back Farouk Delaine for Cheltenham. Okay, don't back Farouk Delaine for Cheltenham. Is that the week that was? That's it.
That's the week that was. So each week here on Upping The Ante, we preview one of the big races at the 2021 Cheltenham Festival. And this week, it's the new one. It is the Mayor's Chase, which is run on the Friday. And at the moment with Bet365, Benie Des Dieux and Colreevy, the stablemates, are 6-1 joint favourites. Salsaretta, also trained by Willie Mullins, is 7-1. It's 7-1, put the kettle on. And it's 10-1 bar. Right, Gavin, Colreevy, put up by a certain David Jennings for the Mayor's Chase at 16-1, Bet365 a couple of weeks ago. Captain of my team, did the business.
Brilliant selection. To beat Pencil Full of Lead, getting the few pound was really good performance. She loves that heavy ground. She jumps great. She battles. She's a Grade 1 winner of a bumper. So lots to like.
Lots to like. Might she be better going right-handed? And might she want soft ground?
She definitely wants
soft
ground.
There's the two little... Yeah. But if Benie Des Dieux doesn't show up, and if Put the Kettle On doesn't show up, and there's a big chance that both won't, she's going to be 5-2.
She could be.
And I'll be sitting pretty on 16s. You don't fancy her.
No, I do. I give her a great chance. Right. But I'd have to wait. I haven't picked anything for this race yet because I'm waiting to see what's going to happen with Benie Des Dieux. And the back of my head for the last month or two is, if Put the Kettle On got beat, would she maybe go for this race? Because she's won around Cheltenham three times.
And she looks like she'd get the trip.
She has won over 2.5 before, I think, in Tipperary.
And she looks like she might like it.
Yeah, so I'd be open-minded, but brilliant selection, great chance, Colreevy. Even Salsaretta, she did have a fall, so that's not ideal. You've got others in it, Ellie May, and there's one at 25-1. Mount Ida, I wouldn't just totally dismiss. She was second in Cork and then she won in Cork. She needs maybe up to 2.5 mile at Suter. But I would have to say the Mayor's Chase, I think, is a great addition to the festival.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it.
And
I don't see anything wrong with it. Why not?
And are you disappointed they got rid of the Novice Handicap Chase, given that Plutard won it, given Imperial Aura won it? So it has been a very good race. Yeah, no, it's been quite good for punters. So I am upset that that's gone, but by the time we go to 5 days, it'll be back in again. It'll be back in, yeah. So at the moment, in the Mayor's Chase, who would you be backing with Bet365?
I don't know. I couldn't. Great selection, Colreevy, massive chance, but I just see how the next few weeks go. As
a friend of mine used to say, sure, it doesn't matter if it wins or loses now, you got the value. Which makes no sense, because they all have to win. But yeah, Colreevy 6-1, solid.
Yeah, and like, if you go back and look at Benie Des Dieux winning her beginner's chase in Limerick, she was absolutely amazing. Amazing.
Will the chancer?
Now, she's 9 turning 10, but even so, it'll be interesting to see.
I know it's a funny one. Like, obviously, I've tipped Colreevy, but I would give anything to see Benie Des Dieux over fences again.
Yeah,
I just think she's brilliant. But I think they'll go to Mayor's Hurdle.
Do you?
I do, yeah.
See how Concertista gets on today, and then that might even help.
Okay, there you go. That's a quick look at the Mayor's Chase. Now, what you want to know is what's happening this week. Now, it's not quite exciting as the Christmas.
Sure, every day can't be exciting.
Every day can't be Christmas Day, as we know. But there's still some very, very good races to look forward to on New Year's Day. My wedding anniversary, would you believe?
Good man.
2 years married this New Year's Day. Still blissfully happy.
Oh, it's not your wedding.
So, we're going to look at the race on New Year's Day. And there's only one place to start, and that is Tramore for the Savills Chase. Savills are getting some
mileage out of it.
They are, like, the brilliant race
at Leprechaun.
And yeah, to stay sponsored races in such difficult times is excellent. So Albin Photo v Monley. Gavin, is there any chance with a run under his belt that Monley can beat Albin Photo?
I wouldn't have thought so. Albin has won that the last 2 years. He scoots around Tramore. But I just hope Monley shows up. I hope it's not just a cakewalk for himself. So
yeah, interesting race. We love to see the Gold Cup winner on New Year's Day, as we always do. Now over at Cheltenham, live on ITV, we have got the Dipper Novices Chase, Gavin. And me and Gavin differ here. We spoke before the show. We have a big difference of opinion. And you can probably guess it, because Gavin goes for the tried and trusted, the safe option, which is...
Protectorate should win. I won't back him with odds on, but I wouldn't be in love with your lad after his run in Exeter.
And my lad is Sizing John would probably win it, would he?
Probably.
It's Sporting John. Sporting John, I'm going to give him another chance, Gavin. I think he's a good horse who I think the small field here will actually suit him to give him more experience. And like, if this was a hurdle race, right? I know it's not, but if it was a hurdle race, what would the prices be? It'd be flipped on their heads, so it would.
Yeah.
I think Sporting John is going to prove himself to be a Grade 1 horse over fences.
Okay. Time will tell. I won't have a bet in the race, but I'd imagine the favourite should win.
Sporting John for me, Protectorate for Gavin. And the final race we're going to have a quick look at is the Rel Keel Hurdle, a race I always like. And my beloved McFabulous is in it.
Don't see why he shouldn't win. I'd love to back him, but I'm not going to back him with evens. If he goes out to 6 or 7 to 4, I'd say I'd back him.
Yeah, and we think he didn't quite get home.
I don't think so,
at Newbury. No, probably not. But this could be his trip. Yeah,
2.5. Travels very strong. Jumps great.
Yeah,
was impressive, I think, in Chepstow. But yeah, no reason why he shouldn't win. But I'd just like to see a better price.
Yeah, I think he's an absolute gorgeous horse. He's going to make a gorgeous chaser. And Gavin, do you know what?
What's that?
He's going to win the 2021 Cauto Star Novice Chase at Kempton. Okay. That race is made for him.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Even though it's 3 mile.
Yeah, no, over fence is 3 mile Kempton, made from. Perfect. Okay. Yes, there you go. That's a long-term...
He'll win the same day as Asterion for Launch.
Yeah, we'll do the double. Asterion for Launch to win the King George and McFabulous to win the Cauto Star Novice Chase. So that's what's happening this week. So before we get on to our latest selections for Upping The Ante, unfortunately, we're going to have a quick scan over our previous picks. Gavin, we'll start with you.
Yeah, it's been a tough couple of weeks for picks.
I think trainers are watching this show and they're going, Gavin, please don't tip one of our horses because something will go drastically wrong. So obviously Easy Work lasted about, did you get 48 hours out of it?
Yeah, about that.
Tower Bridge.
Yeah, like he actually jumped third last fine in Limerick, but just caught its hind leg, and obviously he's out for the season or longer.
So you have 2 gone?
2 gone, yeah. And then Felix Deji might as well be gone.
Felix Deji,
Altior. So a bad couple of weeks.
An Altior.
Anyway.
And you know, people are on Twitter and they're slagging me about my selections.
Yeah.
I'm actually, to be honest, I'm reasonably happy. I'm going for these Hail Marys.
Yes.
And Colreevy has clicked, I think. Okay. Mr. Fisher still has a chance.
Okay.
You know, young up and coming horse. Decent price, 33 to 1. I still think the Big Breakaway has a chance.
Right.
In an RSA. Or the race formerly known as the RSA. I'm not too disheartened. I think we're about evens at the minute too.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably
now you've got the solid one in there. You've got that lovely double.
Zana here and Galvin and a few bits, so not too bad.
Yeah, not too bad.
But anyway, we need to pick a couple of good ones the next few weeks.
So let's have a look at this week's selections. So it is the moment you've been waiting for, Upping The Ante viewers. It is the latest selections from myself and Gavin for the 2021 Cheltenham Festival. Gavin, do you want to go first or second?
Shall I go first?
Go on.
I'm going to go for... I did have a horse tipped in the Pertemps, but he's no longer... Gonzo, yeah. So I'm going for a horse that ran yesterday. The boss is Oscar. He's 8 to 1. I know he's favourite, but I think 8 to 1 is actually decent value.
Yeah.
He's only had 8 runs for Gordon. He won a bumper. He won a 2.5 mile maiden hurdle at Leopardstown last Christmas. He was 5th in the Martin Pipe. Now, if you watch the Martin Pipe, which I did yesterday, he gets banged at the first. He gets banged at the second. Where the Martin Pipe actually starts is a bit silly. There's 2 hurdles within a furlong and a half. And they've all these conditional jockeys, and every one of them is told to be in the first 6. Yeah. And there's 20 odd.
Spread out the whole way.
They're banging into each other. Yeah. So he got a rough ride, and then turning in, he gets another bang coming to the last. Yeah. So he runs on very well.
Remarkable race.
Yeah, he did. He ran a cracker to be 5th.
Yeah.
That was, I think, a 2.5 mile. This season, he won over 2 mile 7 in Thurles. He was second to Flooring Porter in Navan, which, as we know now, is good form. Second in the Pertemps qualifier, so he is qualified.
Lovely race.
He was second 11% off 138. He ran the Martin Pipe off 138 as well. He's going to be in the mid 140s, but I think, especially if Gordons aren't flying at the moment, it was a very good run. They'd be delighted to finish second. I can see him going off a lot shorter than 8 to 1.
I think he's rock solid, getting more experience, improving, young horse. He's everything you would want in a Pertemps horse.
Yeah, I wonder, will he have one more run before Cheltenham? Maybe not.
Yeah, I kind of hope he doesn't.
Yeah, as I'm going to back him today, this afternoon, I hope he doesn't run
after
again.
the show goes out.
Yes. Yeah. But I'd imagine 8 to 1's a good price.
Yeah, 8 to 1, the boss's Oscar for Gavin Lynch in the Pertemps final at Cheltenham.
Because Gordon Elliott has such a good record in handicaps.
He does, excellent record. So that's Gavin Lynch's latest selection, the boss's Oscar. I'm sure it's going to be a very popular pick with our viewers. Now time for mine, Gavin, and I'm staying with the same stable, Mr. Gordon Elliott, and I'm going for the Martin Pipe, would you believe?
Okay.
The Martin Pipe. I'm going to put up a Martin Pipe horse in December.
Lovely.
Yes, and it is Wide Receiver. Yes, Wide Receiver, I think, will win the 2021 Martin Pipe. Now, okay, here we go.
Right.
Good horse in bumpers.
Yeah.
Like, not that far off grade 1 level in bumpers, okay? Comes out this season and is beaten in maiden hurdles. First time out of Punchestown. Looked like he was going to win easily under Keith Donoghue coming into the last. Got it all wrong.
Yeah, my bad mistake. I backed him that day. Just a bad mistake,
Yeah, okay, so Probably should have won that day if he jumped the last. Then he comes out and he runs in a grade 3 at Navan, okay, which I thought N'Golo won the race, and wide receiver was, I thought he was just staying on.
He stayed on very well.
Yeah, he looked like he stayed on for third, looked like he was going to fall out the back of the tail. He stayed on for third, okay? Good solid run. Then he ran in a 2 mile 4 maiden hurdle at Navan, and he looked a certainty. He was odds on, and I said, this horse has to win, okay? And I was bitterly disappointed because he was beaten by Ashdale Bob. Since then, Ashdale Bob comes out and bolts up in a grade 2, okay?
And the third horse, Shadow thing.
And the third horse was Shadow Rider, and he's won since too. And I think this wide receiver has managed to get himself really well handicapped. He won the maiden hurdle at Leopardstown on St. Stephen's Day, okay?
Won well, yeah.
Off a mark of 130, okay? He won nicely by, I think, 2 lengths that day, but he's never going to be, like, he's a grinder. He's not a flashy horse, he's a grinder. He's a galloper. I think he's crying out for the step back up to 2.5 miles. He won that off 130. The most he can go up to in Ireland after that is 137, I'd say.
At very most.
Yeah, at the very most, because he had to work hard to get it, okay?
Yeah.
So that means he's going to run in a Martin Pipe off a mark of around about 140.
Yeah, and you need 135 probably to get in.
You need 135 to get in. Gordon Elliott loves to target horses at this race. He absolutely loves it. He should have won it even more than he has.
Sure, he used to.
Like Tony Dodari should have won it. He made a mistake at the last. He does target this race.
He does, sure. He used to work with Martin Pipe.
He did used to work with Martin Pipe. And I think he was asked a question a few years ago if there was one race at Cheltenham after the Gold Cup he'd love to win. And he actually said he'd love to win the Martin Pipe. So I just think wide receiver, he's got the experience, he's got the class, he's got the right handicap mark. He has to go for this race. It looks the perfect race for him. He's 12-1 with Bet365. I think it's a big call, but I think he'll go off favourite on the day.
I'd say you could be right. He's not good enough probably for a grade 1, so this is the ideal race for him. Yeah.
It is the absolute...
And novices have a great record in the Martin Pipe. So.
He does, and hopefully there'll be a good jockey booking as well. So there you go, wide receiver, 12-1 with Bet365 for the Martin Pipe. It's my latest Ante-Post pick. If you want to become a member of Racing Post Ultimate, all you've got to do is type in UP50 and you get the first 3 months half price. It's going into the new year. That means you get Cheltenham half price because Cheltenham is in March and that's in the first 3 months of the year. So why not do it? UP50, type in the code and become a Racing Post Ultimate member. So Gavin, guess what?
What?
That's it.
That's it.
That's it for episode 8 of Upping The Ante in association with Bet365. We're getting there, Gavin. It's going to be March soon. I hope you enjoyed the show. We reflected on the Christmas period, which was extremely busy. The 4th day of Leprechaun is still to go. So we're going to zoom off. Well, I'm zooming off the Leprechaun to work. Where will you be? In an armchair?
I'll be sitting at home.
Anne-Marie bringing you a cup of tea.
And
does she feed you when you're watching racing?
The odd time.
Would she bring it into you on the couch?
No.
No. Do you have a do not disturb sign on the door?
Man cave.
But you're going to enjoy, you're going to get the chance to watch
looking forward to today's race and looks absolutely top drawer, yeah. Okay,
so people are going to be watching this afterwards, okay? So what's your banker today?
Hopefully Concertista and San Ra.
Okay, Concertista and Saint Wa for Gavin. And I'm going to go for Le Tector in the first race at Leprechaun. Yeah, so when you're watching this back and go, look at these idiots. Look, they're after tipping 3 losers. Listen, thanks for watching. We're here with you every Tuesday from now until the Cheltenham Festival. Please stay tuned.